AZ says, amazing. We are listening. I'm ready to bring on our next guest, the CEO and founder of Tribe Beauty Box. I know that we're going to get into the journey. It hasn't been an easy journey, but I think there's a lot of success that has happened. Bili might say she's not over the hump, but I think she's over the hump. And I think there's a lot of learnings we can take from what she's doing today and how she got her business to where it is. Bili, welcome to the stage.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Hey, it's great to have you here. Let's just start at the very simple basics. What is Tribe Beauty Box?
Tribe Beauty Box is a discovery box. It's a bi-monthly box that helps indie beauty lovers discover indie products from female-owned brands. Every 2 months, our subscribers get 5 to 8 full-size products to indulge in and discover.
Love it. And when you started this business, like, what was it that made you think you could pull this off? It's quite a challenge, right? Like, so between your own experience and your passion for it, why did you take the dive into starting a store?
I always wondered, to be honest, because I launched this 2 weeks after I graduated from university/college, wherever you are in the world. And I just did it because I thought there was an opportunity to present smaller, unknown brands. The brands I was getting in some of the bigger boxes that I was subscribed to were just brands that I already knew, right? The ones that were at Sephora, they were kind of gunning for the big guys that would get them the subscribers, while there was such a huge opportunity for people like me who are just really interested in knowing unknown brands. So that was why I started.
So it was your own personal curiosity on saying, hey, I see you. I'm sure at this time you're looking at beauty boxes. You saw Ipsy, you saw Sephora, you probably saw BoxyCharm maybe even. And you said, what, they're all over on this side of the market. I'm going to go small.
Exactly. And it's the same way that you see a new rise of boxes that are just like cruelty-free, clean beauty and things like that, because there really is such a niche opportunity for smaller pockets.
I like it a lot, but there is a big problem. And I wonder if you saw this in the beginning, or I think it's clear today. There's a network effect in the box, in the beauty box, because you need to get enough people so that you can kind of bulk purchase and get your costs down. How do you fight that as an emerging new beauty box? And how do you get buy-in from brand partners to feature you?
Yeah, so when I started, I was working with distributors, which wasn't always the best solution for margins. But, as long as I was breaking even, I knew that I had to just run break an even point to be able to grow. So when I did hit certain numbers, I allowed brands to start opening my emails and responding to my emails. I started working a lot on partnerships and really giving them an idea of who my customer is. And also, I was a bit more generous with my budget. Some brands would be like, no, we only can afford 50 cents or $1 per product. I was a bit more lenient so that they could be lenient with me. So it's a lot of dancing around and being flexible and just optimizing for growth by not always making $1 profit.
Does that mean that you had to pour some money in early on in order to really get this moving?
No, I only started with $300.
Wow, that is incredible. That is something I didn't know, and it sounds so dangerous.
It is.
Well, so quickly tell us then, whatever you'd like to disclose as far as where the company's at today, to get us from the beginning to the end really quick of the journey, and then we'll go back to the middle.
Yeah, when I started, I was at like 50, 100 subscribers, and now we're more like 1,000 and all of that. And I'm shipping to the UK, I'm shipping to Europe. I have a fulfillment center now. Before, I would rent out my party room downstairs or pack all the orders in my apartment. Now I need help. Before, I could do everything myself. So it's definitely been an amazing journey. Now I can budget, an amount to just try new things. Whereas in the beginning, up till like the second year even, every dollar counted. Now I can put an amount just to try out a new technology, try out a new software. If it works, great. If it doesn't, but at least we tried. So it's definitely been a great journey so far.
Wow, that's really incredible. Now, along the journey, you've had the beauty box and you've started to really grow the brand. Of course, the beauty box is central. When did you start to add like products to the site, and what were your thoughts on like maybe leftover product from
Yeah.
a large purchase before? So yeah, walk me through the expansion of the brand to more than just a beauty box.
Yeah, so previously I would only order the exact amount I needed right after I billed my customers because I just didn't even want like five products left over. Now I order ahead of time. Like this year is actually the first year I have planned my entire year worth of boxes ahead of time. Everything's paid for, everything's secured, just
Wow.
waiting for the brands to send that over. And I could not do that just as of last June. So it just shows you the projection of how the business is going and how I've become smarter and more efficient as I'm running the business. It's not just a business's journey, but it's also my personal journey that reflects to how and what the business is doing. We added on add-ons. This was as of Q3 or Q4 last year. So I started allowing customers to personalize their box. So we have an equal amount of young and mature customers. So some of the mature customers just don't want that bright eyeshadow. So we allow people to choose between two items every month. I just allow you to just add on the second item at a discount. So that has incredibly increased my AOV. And what I do on top of that is that whatever product is left over from the previous month that was really popular, I'll put it on the add-ons page at an amazing discount, and customers just get to refill their faves while saving money. So that's been awesome. That's been doing really, really well. And I'm glad I did that. And we also
Wow.
have Lash Scoop as well. So Lash Scoop started almost a year ago, actually, in February last
When we
year.
first met, I told you I thought it was crazy that you were doing two beauty like you're, oh my God, how can you
I
juggle all
know, I
that?
know, but it's really amazing to see how many Try Beauty Box customers just get Lash Scoop because it's like if you're gonna do an eyeshadow look, you probably want to get makeup. Sorry, you probably want to get lashes. And we have so many makeup artists, content creators, and just women who wear lash or men who wear lashes on a daily basis get Lash Scoop because it's such an incredible deal. It's so efficient and it's just convenient to just get your lashes delivered every month versus running to CVS, running to Target. So
So
that's
Lash
Lash
Scoop
Scoop.
is more of a refill product, whereas the core beauty box is more discovery, right?
Discovery,
So you
exactly.
you actually have two fundamentally different, let's say, mindsets of the consumer, and then
Exactly.
I know that you have the Lash Scoop audience, you have the beauty box audience, and then there is a certain amount of overlap there. For
Yes.
the core beauty box, I want to talk a bit of retention. In the beginning, you probably don't have any retention numbers. Now you probably know them on there are on the back of your hand.
Yeah.
What have you seen? You introduced add-ons. What have you seen and done in order to increase retention? What's been working? Because
Yeah.
obviously to grow that subscriber count, you have retention and churn as your competing forces. And of course, right after this, we have Val Geisler, the queen of retention, perhaps that will be coming on stage in a few minutes. But yeah, what have you found
Right.
works?
So before we started personalization, I really did notice, and I knew our retention numbers were way higher than what it is now because people would just get the 5 or 6 items. And if they didn't like 2 items, that was enough for them to think, oh, this isn't, it's just subscription customers are different. So
Finicky, you
now
would say.
different is the word. Now that they feel like they have a say in, which they absolutely do, they know and they're very excited for the one item that they're definitely picking, and that item is always the hero item, is the item everyone's excited to get. On top of that, not only are you given the chance to pick one of the items, you can now add on the second one for like 60-70% off. So you get best of both worlds. And it's really, really decreased our retention numbers. Just to be transparent, like I would say around March last year, our retention was about 14%, which is really high. And now it's 9%, which is like almost halfway, halfway difference. So 9% is sort of the sweet spot that most subscription boxes see, sometimes 7%. And we definitely want to keep decreasing and decreasing it. And that's also helped as I've outsourced fulfillment. So shipping is way faster. There are no delays. There's good communication. Things are automated. It's a whole system. It's a whole system.
You've had to build it piece by piece, right? Because
Yeah.
all of them at one point relied completely on you, and you've started to take the spinning plate and pass it to somebody
Yeah.
else, as you've probably heard me say before.
Yeah.
What's next for improving retention? What are you testing? You said you've got a little bit of budget to throw at some of these things.
Yeah,
What's
so
next?
I'm open to learning about different softwares that just help with just deeper customization. I've been reading up more about AI. Still not there yet because it's a huge budget to throw into AI. But if there's something at a small scale that I can look into, I'm definitely always open, always taking meetings, just hearing what's out there and what could work.
So getting you said 14 to 9%. That was largely had to do on the product side, and now you're talking, of course, like kind of like on site or something like that. Is there anything else you think you can do from a product standpoint to change retention?
Definitely. I think that we can still increase the quantity of items that we send. 5 items is a sweet spot. I know customers are definitely happier when they get 6 to 7 items, especially when they're usable items. And another thing that's helped our retention is themes. So before, I kind of just
Wow.
curated products that were available to me and put them in a box and just slapped a name on it. Now I'm a lot more intentional about themes, about how things go together, the experience that I want the customer to feel. And that's really helped. And also telling stories through the box. One of our best selling boxes was our June 2020 box. It was Summers in Italy. That was the theme. And we had a Lake Como palette. We had some cute Italian products in there.
So when nobody can travel.
Right, exactly. So it was an experience. It was just a great feel that you get when you open the box. And I think that people love to feel experiences. They love to feel something that might not be at their disposal at the moment. And that's why we all get subscription boxes.
You've tested and proven themes work. You've
Yeah.
tested and proven that the choice for hero products and the add-ons work. So tell me about some of the tests or things you've done in the business that have failed, especially the ones that really hurt.
Yeah, the ones that really hurt is just way when I was starting, I did not know what a purchase order was. This is really embarrassing. So I purchased the product by email, got an invoice, wired the money, and just never got the product back. So there's that. So being more intentional about building relationships with brands and not it just being a purchase. So now I, talk to the brands more often. I learn more about them, stay in the loop about their products just to have that relationship with them. Another thing that really hurt is engaging in marketing activities that I myself don't have a basic knowledge of. So I remember working with a Facebook ad agency, I think 2 years ago, actually. And they, it was like $3,500 a month, something like that. And I was locked in for 3 months. I didn't know anything about ads. And in 3 months, they got me 2 sales. And if I had a basic knowledge about what was going on then, I would have pulled the plug immediately, but and known that they were basically fraudulent, but I didn't. So I always say, whatever it is that you're engaging in your business or adding on, have basic knowledge of it. Same thing happened to me with Google Ads. And that didn't work out too well too. So it's just honestly just testing. It's a dance, you try some things, it works, you try some other things, it doesn't work, and you stick to what works.
Well, I love that the key learning here is I've seen Facebook ads courses, but I think what we need is like Facebook ads for CEOs,
Yeah.
because you don't want to do the ads and know how ad manager works. You want to know how to manage the person and make
Yeah.
sure that they're doing a good job and that you're able to enable, a person or an agency in that
Yeah.
role. Who here that's listening has a terrible agency story?
I
I'm
know.
sure you're
I
not
feel like
alone, Billy. I think
everyone does.
every merchant has a terrible agency story, and the worst is certainly the true scams that I think we have a few different types of bad agency stories. And as an agency owner, I've seen them all, and I've had to deal with the mistrust that comes from being a good agency in a world
Yeah.
filled with bad actors.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of, I'm going to go on a rant here. It's the car repair market, right? When the mechanic knows how the car works, the mechanic can also lie to you and tell you that you need this thing and this widget and this bell and this whistle in order to get it up and running. And before you know it, the mechanics run up a bill and they're making a profit going, ha, 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 you just needed an oil change.
Yeah.
Right? And so having that high level view and understanding, super, super important. Now, most agencies, like most mechanics, I hope, are not out there to screw you or to capitalize on you. They really should, especially when you're in an ROI driven agency like an ads agency. They should be trying to get value for you. The problem is, so there's this second tier problem. You have bad actors and you have complete frauds out there because they're hiding behind this veil of having some expertise because it's tough to tell, right? So then you have these people who think they're experts because they took an online course, but they have very little experience. Or they, on the flip side, they might be too lazy, not have systems in place, and essentially waste your money because of inexperience. Let's just say. So those are the two, bad sides. Then you have good actors who want to make you money, but maybe the company isn't able to fulfill on that. So 2 years ago, you were so early that at $3,500 a month, I would have advised you to hold off, learn Facebook ads on your own, start with retargeting, and spend that 35 on a few influencers or something like that. That way, drive in the top of funnel and increase the brand presence before fueling the fire to move into a acquisition oriented agency. And it's because the company just needs to be at that stage to fuel the fire and make sure you get your return on investment.
Yeah. And that leads me to another point of like CEOs or brand owners just understanding what the data is. I think that a lot of us just don't know there's just so many tools out there, and learning the KPIs and the metrics of each of those things and knowing what matters and what doesn't. Like if you're running Google ads, you may think that clicks is what matters, but that's not necessarily what's the essence of knowing that your Facebook, your Google ads work, right? So I'm not being afraid of the data. It looks scary. It looks just like a lot of numbers, and when the numbers aren't good, you're like, kind of giving up. But just knowing that I feel like the answer is always in the data.
Yeah, and I agree completely. And sometimes it's the setup of your data. And we just talked with Omri about bad data. I mean, sometimes you have 2 pixels installed for Facebook, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it looks like conversions are great. But then when you look at sales data, you go, you've got 2 pixels here. Like there's a problem. And then of course there's the pixel isn't firing problem, which is the exact opposite. And then you have the multi-attribution problem, which is, well, they clicked on a Google ad and a Facebook ad, and they're both saying they got me this sale, and so, there's a bunch of problems. What's cool about technology is that the multi-attribution problem, I forgot the name of the company. It's not Peel Insights, but there's another one. There's a couple of companies that are solving this problem. Just plug in a tool, and of course you have to pay a small amount of money. But if you're spending $10,000 on ads, having your attribution model solved for $50, $60 a month is a no-brainer. So the technologies are really coming together. Personalization is becoming a bit more attainable, and you're thinking about it as, I need to reach my brand at this point of scale to afford personalization. At the same time, personalization is coming down market so that smaller and smaller businesses can take advantage. So I think there's a lot of cool things heading into the future. Tell me about, so on that note, because we do have to go here in a minute, what's the biggest surprise technology that you've seen work for your business? Something that you were skeptical on, or maybe you undervalued, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, this makes sense now.
Yeah, I think this one. It's SMS marketing.
Yeah.
So, I just had a thing where I was just so scared to text people. Again, this was like when it was just me. I was just so scared to text people. I was like, I don't want to bother anyone. They're just gonna unsubscribe. But when I did do it, we would see like 500 to 800% ROI, and it was insane. But doing it in a schedule and sharing that schedule expectation with people, I've found out has helped mitigate that. Ooh, they're bugging me. At the end of the day, everyone opens their text message, even the annoying one that tells you, oh, your bills are due or whatever. You open those messages. And when we do text message marketing, that really helps. So The last time we did add-ons, we just sent them by email after they did their customization. There was a link that would direct you to the add-ons page. What we did differently this month was that we texted them the link to the customization page and the add-ons page, and that actually increased our add-on revenue by 34% this month. So I'm very happy with that. More money. And more open rates. So that's definitely what I'll be doing moving forward. So SMS, I just thought it would be a bugger. People would just delete, the messages being annoyed. But, when people do put their information in and you ask them to approve to receive messages, they expect to receive messages from you. It's more odd if you ask them for their numbers, they give it to you and then you just don't text them. So that's what I was surprised by.
All right, quick follow-up question before I let you go on that. Do you get responses? Do you have to manage customer service inquiries from this?
Yes, we get responses. And most of the time people just are like, oh, what's my tracking number? Just like really, those kind of really basic questions. It's not something crazy, but I know that you can use Gorgeous. You recommended that to us to have everything in one dashboard and just respond to all of it at once.
Perfect. Awesome. And yeah, Gorgeous is a sponsor of this event. So a quick plug to our sponsor. You actually pipe in the SMS marketing tool to Gorgeous. And then when the person chimes in, you're going to see their customer data there. And it can be like a one-click send the order tracking information back to them via SMS. So it's a lot easier than, go in the platform, opening up Shopify, having to search their name and all that stuff. So it really does save a lot of time for the customer service agents and empowers them to even possibly throw in some upsells or something like that.
Absolutely. Upsells are great.
Awesome. Bili, it's been a pleasure. I love hearing about this journey. I know it's going to continue. Brand's going to continue to grow. Churn rate's going to go down, or retention is going to go up, however you want to say it. And great things are in the future.
Thank you so much, Derric. Really appreciate it.